So a very warm welcome, a very, very happy morning. How are you all doing? Good? Coffee was good? You're all awake now? After the heavy Bangalore traffic. And talk about sustainability and Bangalore traffic, I think we all have a responsibility to do something about it, right? So for the next 15 minutes, I thought I'll have a longer time, but I'll make sure that I finish it within my time. And some of the things, when I look at the audience here, I think some of it I can just flip through because you guys are the masters. I don't have to talk about those. So with respect to what we have accomplished in sustainability at HPE is what we are going to discuss for the next 15 minutes. So the importance of sustainability and net zero, I think we all know why. And with all the changes that are happening, in order for us to be able to live, we need to do something. And what are HPE's sustainability efforts? What are the key drivers, HPE's commitment? And what is the framework that we all could use, especially in the people who are in the digital world, in the IT sector, in the technology world? There is a framework that we could use. What are the efficiency levers that we can look at? What are the key learnings and outcomes? And then case studies, okay? I'm going to flip through this. We know what sustainability is, right? Without exhausting the resources, we leave the earth a little better than what we found it to be. And net zero is about making sure that you're not emitting more than what you can replace with, right? So that is what it is. So I'm going to flip this. So these are the efforts that we have done in terms of environmental issues. There is by 2040, we want to be a carbon neutral company. So there is a lot of carbon reduction footprint as we speak. There is a continuous activities towards carbon reduction, energy efficiency. We have so many patents around cooling systems to make sure that the consumption of energy is not too high, and also a circular economy, because we also have HPFS, the financial services part of it, which we give our servers and other equipments on lease to small and medium businesses, and they can use those. And then when their lease is over, they return, and how we use it again so that it doesn't go to the landfill, right? So there is a circular economy. We do a whole lot of social responsibility. I heard a lot of talk about health here. So there are e-health centers, around more than 300 plus e-health centers across 20 plus states in India, benefiting around 7 plus million. So that we have a lot of ethical practices and community engagement. Governance-wise, we have a very strong process with making sure that there is a sustainable procurement and transparency. In terms of innovation, I'll discuss more about what all the things that we have done. There are a lot of rewards and recognition that we have as well, but the latest one, which came just a day back, was the Clean 200 list. We are part of the Clean 200 list, the global list that has been created for the globally traded companies. Okay, so why the key drivers are simple, right? One is our own sustenance. How can we live, right? And HP's motto is advancing the way in which we live and work. So it is so aligned to our purpose that sustainability is part of our core philosophy and core belief. And there are a lot of legislative compliances that you need to adhere to. Otherwise, you cannot be in the business. Last but not the least, many of the people who are doing business with you, they would not do business with you unless otherwise you show that you are investing in sustainability. You are not leaving those carbon footprints which are damaging to the nature, right? So it is a business imperative to show the sustainability efforts and initiative from each of the corporate, right? So those are the drivers. Now, the goal is to be net zero by 2040. There are some of it is very direct. Our own transportation, the way in which we develop our products and all that. There is upstream stuff which we need to take care of it as well, right? In terms of the procurement, our business travels, a whole lot of stuff that we do, we need to make sure that we leave as much least carbon footprint as possible. And then the downstream, once the equipments get shipped, how is it handled? How is it recycled? How is it catering to the circular economy? All that part of it, right? So if you observe, the scope 1 and 2 is not that huge because it is within your control. You can tell that you will not do business travel for any and every purpose. It needs to have a very strong purpose for you to do business transfer, otherwise do virtual. So there are a lot of things which you can control. That is why the scope 1 and 2 are little smaller, whereas once the machine goes out and it is in somebody else's hand, how do you make sure that it is not leaving the carbon footprint, right? So that is the one which, and even that we will be reducing it by 2040. That's the goal. The next one, these are the framework, right? For example, there is around strategy governance, around applications, around DevOps and operations, right? For example, virtualization. I'll show you data around, instead of having your dedicated machines catering to your business, if you go for virtualization, how much of savings? Not only in terms of total cost of ownership, it's also in terms of your energy efficiency, right? How much of, as per the workload you can bring on or bring off, so you don't have to spend more money. So there is a whole lot of things that you could use, that in terms of KPIs and metrics. You need to have your executive alignment in terms of applications, modern configuration practices, and DevOps is one way in which, you have a whole lot of automation framework. You do not spend too much of, in the world in which the AI is going, it's no code, right? Zero code, no code kind of situation. So those are the things which are going to be much faster and energy efficient, and you will not need to leave too much of carbon footprint. But at the same time, AI is a fuel guzzler, right? When we talk about AI, it's a fuel guzzler, but with the technology, the way in which it is improving, I do believe that it will eventually come to a state of balance. Right now, it is too much of energy consumption, but over a period of time, I do believe that that is the one problem that needs to be solved, and it will be solved, right? In terms of operations, many of the times we work with legacy systems, and the legacy systems are again very energy consuming. They don't perform as high as modern technology. So those are some of the things that we could replace and then asset decommission. And these are some of the things which every company can look at to see how they can make it a sustainable IT. So these are the energy levers. As I said, if you use your virtualized environments, right? If you go for virtualization, you could increase your CPU utilization by 30% at the minimum. 40% of your servers which are over more than 5 years old, that is the industry average. More than 40% of the servers are over 5 years old, and they do only 7% of the work, and they consume 66% of power. Look at the crime, right? So it's better that the industry, the corporates replace their legacy systems. And the total cost of ownership reduces by 45% because, in terms of with virtualization, you scale up and scale down based on the load. And 70% of the software which the so-called in cloud are not cloud-based, cloud-enabled. They are just lift and shift somebody has done. So we have a lot of work there to do in terms of making sure that the applications are truly cloud native, so that we get the benefit of operating in a cloud environment. What are the learnings? Right size your IT with increased utilization. Adopt the latest and the greatest in technology. This is going to serve you 30% cost savings in terms of total cost of ownership. Reduce energy consumption costs. There is a whole lot of way in which we do it. Retire assets responsibly while funding future innovation, because we cannot just let them go to the landfill. It has to be recycled in a particular way so that it does not leave too much of carbon footprint, right? So what are the outcomes? Number one, in terms of supercomputer leaders, 7 out of top 10 supercomputers in Green 500 belongs to HPE. 20% less power using optimized model, and we have 300 plus patents in the liquid cooling technology. 15% less power using liquid cooling technology, and we have 300 plus patents in liquid cooling. And 86% of the servers are given a second useful life. They are just not thrown off. We take them, we refurbish them, and then we configure it so that somebody else can use it, right? So that it is circular economy it creates. India is very well known for that. Nobody throws stuff. When I go to US, I get so annoyed. You see on the road, suddenly some sofa will be dropped. So that is not the way we do, right? We make sure that somebody else can use it, and it is always a circular economy. So you use it, give it to somebody, they will use it, and it will get upcycled, and somebody else will use it. So these are the quick case studies that I wanted to show. With the 2.35 billion investment in R&D, the supercomputer Frontier is one of the fastest and most energy efficient powerful supercomputer that has in terms of time's best inventions. And we have done asset upcycling to reducing environmental impact. As I told HPEFS, we have 93% of the machines are given a second lease of life so that we do not send them to the landfill. There is a huge customer benefit for Green Lake. If people are buying Green Lake as a service, right, as a service platform, 36% fewer servers, 53% lower infrastructure energy, and 26% lower energy cost. So these are the ones which you will get when you use HPE's technology. In terms of in the Bangalore site, there is a whole lot of things that we do in terms of, we have invested in a solar farm, we have invested in a wind farm so that we do not create any energy bills, we do not draw from the grid, we only give to the grid, right? We make it balanced, we make it zero, net zero. There is a whole lot of waste processing unit, the water recycling unit, everything established within the site. And if you come to HP office, you will not see paper cups. You will have to only see the steel tumblers for water or ceramic cups. Every small thing, right? You get your biryani, it will be in a, the palm leaf kind of stuff which is hardened so that people can eat food in that. So you will not see any plastic at all when you come to either cafeteria or to the floor. So there is a whole lot of things that we do. So with that, I would just want to leave you with a couple of thoughts, right? In my own home, from June 2019, I have not been paying my electricity bill. My entire house is solar enabled. And the 6 yard that I'm wearing today, it can last for another 2 generations. It is hand woven, it is in silk, and for another 2 generations it can wear. And because of it is a 6 yard of sari, people of any size can wear it. So this is the one which somebody talked about, the culture and value system. This is what you have. Please do not lose it. Because this doesn't have to, this will come for another 30, 40 years easily. This cloth doesn't have to go to the landfill for another 30, 40 years. And I have worn it for, some 3 or 4 times in the last 3 years. And it looks still new, right? So this will not go. The third thing is, every of my furniture in my house, which houses I built, I have a house by the beach and I have a farmhouse and I have a house in Kanakapura Road here. Every of the houses, 98% of it is old furniture. Everything is 50, 60-year-old. I went, hunted them down. They don't cost much, but the quality of what you get, you will not get with the new furniture, which will occupy space. These are so sleek. They are so beautiful aesthetically, and we can live a very sustainable living at work and at home by doing some of the things. Hope you go and replenish your wardrobe at least with 40% hand woven with silk or cotton, and don't go for those plastic synthetic ones. Okay? Thank you so much.